Love has no gender. Compassion has no religion. Character has no race. Either you are homophobic or you are human. Self-respect is a confidence in pride and in knowing what your behavior is all about. And it should be honorable and dignified. And this is what we usher me into another episode of Nature and Entertainment today on TVRC. My name is Oyedo Kwadidoyin Samuel. And with me today, I have my Ubunge guest today in the person of Mrs. Fisola Fasola Adejumo. She is an educationist. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
And our topic for today is gender-based violence must be stopped. What do you mean by gender-based violence? And that is why I have my, all the way from Samfara, right? Nasarawa, sorry, all the way from Nasarawa to throw light on the questions that will be thrown to her. And I know that you're going to enjoy this program. You're welcome once again. So, ma'am, what are the causes of gender-based violence?
Causes of gender-based violence. First of all, before we start talking about gender-based violence, we must understand that gender-based violence, because once you mention it, the first thing that comes to people's mind is against women.
Okay.
It's on both gender.
Both gender.
Yes. Men suffers it, women suffers it. So it's not one-sided. Okay. So now let's go down to the causes. We must take some things from the roots. The major source or causes of gender-based violence is home, where we come from. We learn by seeing, we learn by examples. What we say our parents do has major impact in our lives. The whole of me, the whole of my being is, sometimes my daughter will say, you're behaving like your mother. And she's correct, you understand? If your mom or your dad happen to be a bully, definitely, no matter how much you work on yourself, you will still see that trace of bully in you. Okay? Even though you try to control yourself, you still see some traces. Sometimes it will come. It takes lots of forces to subdue it. So, secondly, environment. Environment where we grow up, or environment where we live. There are some things in some environment that has become normal that people do, like curses. You don't say anything in slapping someone. You don't say anything in using abusive words on people.
And there are some.
It's not a crime.
Okay.
And there are some environments where you grow up. Once you tell somebody, use abusive words on someone, the person begins to cry. Like, are you okay? Just what I said. I started crying. It's strange.
Yes.
It's strange. So that's why environments have a lot of role to play when it comes to gender-based violence. Good. Thirdly, peer group. Or let me use the word peer pressure. Peer group, peer pressure, they are the same thing.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about group, you talk about your age range. But when you talk about pressure, you talk about the influence of the peers on you. Good. They say, show me your friend. I will tell you who you are.
Yes.
Good. So now, what your friend is, there is every tendency that you begin to act like your friend. So, if you try to correct your friend, this is wrong, before you know it, you see yourself, you find yourself doing what your friend is doing. Good. Thirdly, let's lower it back to marriage now. We've talked about general.
Yes.
And we have to be the home, environment, and peer group. Now, in marriage now, one of the major causes is forced marriage. I don't think they do that. Now it's not rampant.
We impose imposition of a man or woman.
Thank you.
Yes.
Like in those days, I heard my mom say they would just pick up the lady, ma'am, let's go to your husband's house, and before you know it, she's married. Those days, they can manage it then. Good. But presently, I doubt, things are happening, people are being educated, they are learning, and so they can't tolerate it anymore. Though in some parts of the country they are still doing it. In some part of the country, like where I come from, partly not rampant. You understand? I don't have anything. They are still doing forced marriage because somebody you don't like, it will be difficult for you to tolerate or to live with the person. And before you know it, gender-based violence begins to come in, even though against your knowledge or against aggression. Against your own will. Aggression falls in. But sometimes when you wake up and see the person like, no, this is not my kind of person, you get aggressive and like you can do anything. You can do anything.
You just be like, okay, who is this? This is not the kind of attitude I want you. It's strange.
Yes, who is this strange person? This is not my kind of person. She's not my friend. He's not my friend. I feel like, sometimes just.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's digress down to family. Let's go to the family. So we have couples, we have husband and wife, we have the children. But let's talk about the father and mother, the husband and the wife right now. Why is that some couples are unable to tolerate they are unable to tolerate each other? And one way or the other they just see themselves fighting on just common arguments that is not supposed to lead to being a punching bags and begin to fight and this kind of stuff. So why is it that couples are unable to tolerate each other?
Couples are unable to tolerate each other. The subject matter, tolerance.
Yes.
Let's look at it first. Tolerance, we say, is the ability to endure. To endure some things you don't really like.
Yes.
And it has to also do with correction.
Yes.
Like if I want to tolerate you, I should be able to tell you, excuse me, sir, I don't like what you just did. Am I correct?
And I would just be like, how dare you talk to me like that?
See, tolerance is an important factor to help people live together. Tolerance is an important factor to help people live together. Now let's come to the question. Why is that couples find it difficult to tolerate each other? Number one, pride. I said, when you are tolerant, you should be able to tell someone that I don't like this. It's not that you can't live with it. If you are tolerant, you should be able to live with it, right? But you should be able to also tell the person, I don't like this. That doesn't mean you are fighting.
Yes.
Okay. So pride, number one.
Pride in the sense that you don't want to take the word, you don't want to take the correction, right?
You are not teachable.
Okay.
For example, I just said something. I said, I'll tell you, Mr. Man, I don't like what you did. Yes. You just tell me, slap you.
No, I'm not going to slap. I just said that, how dare you talk to me like that? I won't upgrade to the level of being.
I think I don't need to explain the meaning of pride anymore. It has already come to play.
Alright, okay.
Pride, attitudes, has a lot of things to do when it comes to tolerating one another. Though there are things you should not tolerate in marriage. Anyway, that's topic for another day.
Like punching.
There are toxic marriage couples that you should not live with, that you should not tolerate. But on this particular one now, we're talking about pride, ego.
Yeah,
having to do with not tolerating one another. First thing you have to deal with ego, pride. You have to understand one another. In the sense that, okay, for instance, there's this family, then they used to say, the father will come and like, who pressed this toothpaste from the middle, from the center?
That's why I was taught from home.
Oh my God. What is there? Okay, somebody has pressed from the middle, then correct it. Press from the rear and make it smooth again. Use your toothpaste, drop it, right?
Yeah.
Is there any crime in that?
There's no crime.
But you see, these little things, these minute things, has a lot to do in some families. These things I would say as minor has caused trouble and separation in some families.
Thank you very much, man. Let me just chip in this. It happens some weeks ago in the neighboring states.
Okay.
It happens that due to one reason or the other, let's be factual. It's true because of jealousy. The woman set her husband ablaze, set the whole house, set it ablaze, and this is just the end of the story for the man. Now, the question I want to ask you is that what are the effects of jealousy in gender-based violence?
Effects of jealousy.
Yes, effects of jealousy in gender-based violence.
Jealousy That's a very serious topic. Jealousy is it's not real. Let me use the word because it's a reflection of the mind.
Okay.
For example, I may just call my husband and like, the way you are sounding, are you alone?
You're being too suspicious, right?
Yeah, it's just a state of the mind. Because I've been able to create a picture in my mind that this man is sounding somehow.
Like you don't trust, lack of trust,
Yeah,
right?
lack of trust.
Is what causes the jealous, right?
No, but before like lack of trust comes in,
Okay.
it's I don't know how to put it.
Okay. When you talk about that jealousy, let me try to elaborate. Let me try to bring it on. You know that in a way that you don't trust your husband, or you don't trust your spouse in the sense that maybe one way or the other, maybe due to reflection of what has happened in the past. Are you getting the point now, right now?
Okay.
So maybe of what has happened in the past, then maybe the husband just be like, okay, I'm sorry, it will never happen again. But yet you never forgive that person to the extent that you forgive, but you don't forget. Yes, you don't forget. And just in any slight event, that is when you begin to monitor
the
movement of either the husband or the wife, and that is where we. One way or the other, you might just be like, I'm not a jealous type, or I'm not this. But you monitoring your husband, the steps and everything, it means that you don't trust him. And when there's some this saying that you jealous what you value. That what you don't value, you don't jealous it. But let's take it like this: that is it that jealousy we're talking about? Is it the act of is it the act that you valued what you have, or what? That you don't want this thing that you have, that you value, you don't want it to get slipped away from you. Is that should we place on that jealousy?
Yes, it's the act that you value what you have. Like in my place, there's something they call hot love.
Hot love.
Yes, and that has to do with jealousy. But when we're talking about trust and jealousy, they are two different things.
Okay.
Some people, they are just jealous naturally. It's not that they've caught their spouse doing one thing or the other, but they're just like, she's too beautiful. Are you sure when she goes out, men don't touch her? They don't call her. They don't. You just see some men, they will lie down. Their wife has gone out though. They will just lie down and get up once. My wife, where could she be? What would she be doing? Things like that. It's not that the wife has done or the husband has done one thing or the other. Jealousy is just the painting of the heart. And when you talk about what you value, yes, it's very correct. Because if you don't value something, you don't get jealous about it. That's, you understand? That person. And you see, trust, again, like what you said, maybe something has happened in the past and you are forgiven, but you don't forget. It has a lot to do with jealousy too.
Okay. So let's look at it from this aspect again of culture. We have this kind of cultures that one way or the other they paint this kind of violence in their culture, looking at the way they behave, the norms, the way they behave, their cultural dance and the rest. They paint, the way they act. Don't you think that it can influence the violence stuff? We have some outside the country. We have some people that will be dancing naked. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
And then we have even in this country also in Nigeria, we have some people like that we don't want to mention the ethnic groups they fall into, but I know you understand what I'm saying. Don't you think that it can influence gender-based violence?
It does influence gender-based violence because it's not only outside the country. I don't want to talk about culture.
Yes, that's what
I don't really want to talk about culture, but you see, when you're talking about gender-based violence, yes, not dressing well, indecent dressing can cause gender-based violence. It's a very wide one, honestly, because you see some parents now, they don't see anything, they don't see a big deal in dressing for their children half naked. You see some mothers, you don't even believe they are mothers. Or some men, like a case we had there was one school I taught then. We say secondary school girls raped a particular man. I'm telling you, secondary school girls, yes, raped a particular man. And what happened? When the case, about 7 of them, they drugged him and they tied him down. And when the man is getting weak, they will give the man Maltina and milk. And some, you understand things like that.
It's coming from another realm.
Yes, I'm telling you. So what happened? They said that man has 6 packs. And whenever the man is going for gym, you will not wear anything, no top, no singlet.
Wait. So you guys out there having 6 packs, so be caution and be guided
I'm
right now.
telling you, no top, no singlet, and you'll be like feeling, you understand?
Okay.
And some girls will go there, will like, you know, these days they don't see it as anything when a girl approach a man.
Yeah.
Those days are no.
No, we're in
wrong.
21st century. 21st century.
So when you talk to this guy, you're like, no, it's not their type. They are too young. They're in secondary school. Okay, now let's show you something. But they went into action. Seriously, it's on both sides. Why I use the man's example is just that it's on both sides. The same thing with ladies. Some parents, they'll just dress for their children half naked. They don't see it as anything. It's very wrong. Like a woman's experience, she said she wore a miniskirt as usual. She don't see it as anything. Then she boarded the bus with a man sitting by her side, and she noticed the man was not comfortable. And before you know it, she noticed that this man is already wet. I'm telling you. So now we need to dress decently. It has a very long way to go to
Okay,
society.
all right. Thank you very
Cop.
much on that. Thank you very much. You know, we have this kind of, we have rape, we have this, we have that right now. But now, let's come to, do you think that, what are the roles that the churches and schools that they play in this gender-based violence?
Okay. When you talk about churches, I'm telling you, churches need to take their grounds. They need to suck or stop indecent dressing.
Yes, that's it.
I'm telling you, stop indecent dressing. They need to set up this what do they call it? This counseling thing. I'm telling you, it's not that somebody will dress into the church and tell the person to walk out. Church is like a restaurant where you go, you pick, you understand, everybody have what they want to eat. It's like an hospital. When you go, you have different kind of treatments,
Yes.
different kind of sickness that you
Yes.
take there.
And doctor cannot just tell you that we can't.
Thank you. Doctor
Yes.
cannot send you out. So if you see somebody dressed indecently, you should see it as this is where we need to help this person.
You don't see that this is the time by which the schools will introduce what is it called, sex education.
Yes, not only the school, even home, even mothers. You know, mothers are afraid of calling some particular parts of the body these days. Are like, what is it? That's when the child will tell you, somebody touched my wee-wee, and you take wee-wee as nothing because the child say wee-wee. You don't really, you understand? That's what you taught the child. The child doesn't even know that part of the body. You need to tell them the real names, then tell them that they are private. Simple sex education that parents do against. They see it as big deal. Educating their children when it comes to that aspect, they see it like like a story I heard. The guy said he got married and the mom said 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, your wife is not pregnant. 1 year, your wife is not pregnant. Then now called the mom, he said, Mommy, what do you expect me to do for my wife? Did you teach me anything?
Oh, wow.
How can she get pregnant? It's funny, but it's just the truth. The guy is just joking, trying to tell the mom that you didn't teach me anything when it comes to that. So how come you're expecting me to act?
Wow.
So we need to take it serious when it comes to sex education for our children from nursery 3 at least. From nursery 3, because abuse is just everywhere.
So they will be able to raise alarms when this kind of abuse is coming up. Well, I see the reason why you're not called an educational, because if I grant you all my time, you're going to exhaust my 24 hours here. But before we go, so what's your advice to the whole world at large?
My advice, let me break it. My advice to the whole world at large is that we should take our watch. We should not just take everything spiritual. Yes, let's be realistic here. Let's take spiritual. Let's take physical. Okay? Then for women, I will advise that you work. Honestly, I will advise that you learn a trade, you work, so that you will not face gender-based violence.
Yes.
Because it has a long way to go, because an hungry man is an angry man.
Yes.
When you cannot assist your husband, he just gets angry, because you see the country the way it's becoming. Nothing is easy anymore.
Yes.
So we need, the man needs help, likewise the woman needs help. Let everybody work.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming, and I really appreciate your presence here. And I'm very sure that if I call on you next time, I know you will be available.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And here is where we draw the curtain for today on nature and entertainment. Our topic once again is gender-based violence must be stopped, and you've had it all from our guest, Mrs. Fisola Fashola Adejumo. And see you next time, same station. Until then, stay tuned to TVRC. Bye.
Bye.